before I forget.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so do we have like scores of people who say they're going to join this, or do people just show up as they?
Yeah, I think it looks like people are starting to join right now. So I'm going to go ahead and mute the phone line, and then will you hit? Well, actually, I'll wait until Jose gets back so he can.
Excuse me, I'll do what? What do we do?
I'm gonna. When Jose gets back, I will mute the phone line, and then you can hit *1.
We hit stuff, but we're connected via the computer. We're not connected via the phone line.
Oh.
Jose said connect via the phone line because I don't have a dial-in code for this.
Yeah, me.
Okay. Maybe that won't be a problem. Shall I try it? That you can dial in though. There's a phone icon at the top, and I think it'll give you the option to dial in. So let me try muting the line so we don't get feedback, and then if I can't hear you guys, I'll let you know.
Let us know
Does
if
that
you
sound
have
good?
the ID number. We can reconnect maybe using the phone.
Yeah, the phone number's not the problem. It's the PIN code.
Yeah, exactly. The PIN code.
But when I joined, I just was able to say I will dial in, and it gave me all the information. And now,
Yeah, we don't work like that over here, Alison. We use the PIN code.
All right.
Right there.
All right. Well, then I'm sure that it should still work somehow. So let me try muting the phone line so there isn't feedback in case any of the participants are on that. And then I'll let you guys know if I can't hear you. Okay?
Okay.
Participant lines muted.
Jose and Phil, can you hear me?
Hello.
I can hear you.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Great.
Yes, I can. Great.
Okay, and I can hear you guys. Wonderful.
Right.
Okay, well, it is the top of the hour. I see people are starting to dial in. Shall we go ahead and get started?
How many people have we got?
Looks like we have 3 so far.
Okay.
I would say we can wait a couple of minutes.
I think we should wait a few
couple more
minutes.
minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think people will log on anytime between 4 and 4:05. You know, so is there a chat box,
Yep,
Alison, so you can just tell people that we're going to be starting in a couple of minutes? So I don't see a chat box
I can
here.
add one. I can add one.
There you go. Well, they're not rushing in, are they? How come we've only got 2 people?
I think we have 4.
Yeah, but Thomas is one of our guys.
Oh.
All right. One more
All right,
minute.
well, we're recording this, so anybody who, who isn't able to join and hopefully can find the content later on the website.
All right. Well, we should. We'll get moving then, right there. Right. Okay.
Okay, great.
All right. So make sure everybody can hear me, Alison.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the mobile testing webcast today. We have Philip Strange and Jose Talavera on the line with us to give you a great presentation today. Can you guys all just chat or give me like a thumb up or whatever if you can hear me? I think there's a little icon you can put, or you could just type in there really quick that you can hear us. Would be great. Great. Thomas, thank you so much. And Beverly
Okay.
and Bruno. Thank you so much. So, Phil, over to you. Take it away. Oh, and then also let me just mention, throughout the presentation, if you guys have questions, you can type it in this Q&A box right here. And at the end, we will make sure to get to your questions. So anything you ask and need to know throughout the presentation, definitely feel free to send us a question, and we'll make sure to cover it. Okay, Phil, over to you.
Thanks, Alison. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Phil Strange. I am Director of Alliances for Keynote in Europe, and I'm joined today by my solutions consultant, Jose Talavera. I'm going to briefly talk about Keynote and the positioning of our solution. It'll take about 15 minutes. I'll talk about why we have a product at all, why should you buy it. Hopefully we can convince you today. Jose will then talk about how does it work. He will cover manual testing, he will cover automated testing, and he will cover integrations of our mobile testing solution with other application lifestyle products. But before we do that, I guess it might be a good idea to explain who we are. So Keynote is a Silicon Valley company. We've been around since the internet started about 20 years ago, and we offer web and mobile testing solutions that give the customer more detail and more data than anyone else, and that means you can have better apps. We've got around 4,000 customers, and many of those have been with us since the early days. And just to give you a flavor of what I'm talking about, here's a selection of them. And as you can see, we have market leaders in every sector who use Keynote to improve web and improve mobile app performance. So let's start talking about mobile. Why have we got a mobile testing product? Because there's lots of business out there, is the short answer. And any way you look at mobile growth, it's pretty big. In 2014, this was the first year in which handheld devices outsold desktop. What this means is that more mobile apps will be developed to meet the demand, and more revenue will be driven through these handheld devices, which means more testing. And let's note the numbers here. We are in the billions. So even the small parts of this pie could be big pies by themselves. But what does that mean for app developers? What does that mean for quality assurance? What's different about mobile app QA compared to desktop app QA? There must be a big difference, right? Otherwise we wouldn't need to develop a solution. Well, in a phrase, it's way, way more complex. And let's just look at what it means internally. What we've been seeing is that there has been a blurring of the lines between development and software quality assurance. In Europe, we have spoken to companies that want to automate mobile testing, but have no QA department. We've spoken to others that combine feature design, development, and QA into one single mobility team. They're all responsible for a group of features for an application, not for the application itself. And so there are really no rules anymore. And in the marketplace, we see a similar evolution. The velocity of releases is way higher than it ever was before. If we think about when we used to only have web, we used to maybe launch a new website or a major upgrade to a website a couple of times a year. Most customers now tell us they're launching a new release of an app a couple of times a month, and some of them even tell us every couple of days. And the way applications are deployed is different as well. Customers and consumers don't pay for the apps. They download them for free through app stores. And the worst thing about that is, well, the strange thing, the new thing about that is that the consumers can now rate the quality of the app publicly. You get a score. Now that's new, and for some companies that's pretty scary. And what they want to do is they want to get that information back from the marketplace, back from production, into QA, into testing, into development, and improve the app with that feedback. For the testing teams, the big problem is devices. The QA team has to test the app. It's got to test the app and on the greatest number of devices possible. But who wants to acquire hundreds of physical assets like smartphones that need to be managed and replaced every year just for their QA team? And even worse, if there is more than one team, if those teams are distributed, if you have partially internal testing, partially outsourced testing, are you really going to acquire hundreds of assets for each one of those locations? You're probably not, are you? So they need to get assets. They need to get these devices, have these devices available in the cloud. And then finally, the devices and the operating systems are not homogenized like they used to be for regular desktop testing. There are different screen sizes, different operating systems, different features on different phones. And what we're finding is that our customers are telling us they need to test 10, 20, maybe even 30 times more the same application on mobile than they would have done if it had been an application for the web. So this fragmentation in the market, these rapid operating system releases add a new layer of complexity and demand, which has never been seen before by QA. And these challenges create a need for an enterprise quality test platform specifically designed for mobile. And so we asked our customers what they wanted, and they gave us this list. They said, what we really want is a solution that developers and QA can use. We want to be able to document tests both for manual and automated. We want to be able to give our testers wide access to a broad range of devices, and preferably on the cloud if we can't have it on premise. And we also need to have a platform where everybody can develop and run a script, not just the Java experts, but also people that are new to testing, maybe business people who can have a point-and-click scripting tool. They also asked us to give them integration with everything, with enterprise and open source networks, with a continuous integration process, and with the performance tools which DevOps teams use. And then finally, what they wanted was they wanted to solve the problem of the frequent releases of operating systems. This is a manual task, and if you've got dozens, scores, hundreds of devices which you're using to test with, this is a type of manual task which occupies somebody all day, every day. So they want some way of automating that. We're going to show you as much of this as we can in the demo. But before we do that, I'd just like to take a couple of minutes to explain where mobile testing fits into Keynote's portfolio and why this solution is unique in the marketplace. Keynote has 4 product lines that sit above a repository of big data. And this allows our customers to use the data to influence business outcomes. It also allows our customers to differentiate through quality. So starting at the top, Our recently released Digital Performance Intelligence Suite delivers and correlates real-time performance and industry scorecard information against high-value customer journeys. Our quality products, of which mobile testing is one, allow the customer to improve application quality. So that's mobile testing and load testing, both of web apps and of mobile apps. Thirdly, our performance monitoring solutions include the critical combination of real user and synthetic monitoring across all your digital assets. And finally, our industry scorecard service serves to benchmark your digital assets against your competitors, against cross-industry players, or even within your own web assets, within your own digital assets, so you can measure which of your websites, which of your mobile apps is better than the other and create a common standard. If your company has a need for any of these other solutions, we'll be pleased to speak with you outside this meeting. But for now, I think it's time to go back to mobile testing. So we give you real devices in the cloud. And when I say real devices in the cloud, I mean it. I don't mean emulators. We have the largest library of real test devices in the world located in strategic data centers. And these are real working handsets. And if you were to watch them live, and maybe you'll get the chance in a private demo, you'd be able to see individual screens being navigated systematically by our thousands of users worldwide. You can do anything with these phones via a desktop keyboard that you could do if the device were in your hand, except for one thing. You can't steal them because they're secured in a data center rack. So Keynote offers the most secure mobile device testing solution in the world. The kinds of things you can do with these devices are exactly the same as you can with your real device if you got it in your hand right now. You can use the camera. You can turn it on. You can turn it off. You can manipulate the screen with a double tap. You can connect the battery, reconnect it, disconnect it, change the phone's aspect from portrait to landscape and back again. You can view the LCD. There's high resolution on all these cameras. You can use the audio streams, the backlights, the vibrations. And if I've left anything out, Jose will explain the rest to you in the demo. These devices are managed like servers in a data center, as opposed to managing devices in the drawer or in a cupboard in your office, which means that they are 100% secure. You don't have to put stickers on these phones to know which is which. You don't even need to touch them to test with. And the key thing is, of course, you don't need to worry about any contracted or part-time staff, neither ours nor yours. You can leave these devices unattended 24/7 and run automated tests on them, which is kind of the idea, isn't it? Okay, so let's move on to the architecture because this will put everything into context, everything that Jose is going to say into context. So our mobile testing platform provides access to real devices from anywhere, but not just this. The platform is actually an end-to-end solution which enables you to assure the quality of your mobile applications while addressing all the needs of the enterprise by managing the diversity of the devices, the diversity of the applications, and the diversity of your organization and its skills that I was talking about earlier. So let's start at the bottom and work our way up. The platform, with deployment, the platform can be deployed anywhere you want, regardless of the IT security restrictions you have. We can give you a secure solution via SaaS, so it's full SaaS, you don't have to install anything, all the way to installing everything on servers in your own data center, and anything else in between. The device access can be either shared or dedicated, so you can have your own pool of devices, but sometimes you may want to try out new devices or older devices which you don't have anymore. So you can also use the hundreds of devices we have available in our public device cloud to augment your testing. So we cover iOS, we cover Android, we cover Sony, we cover ruggedized devices, we cover infotainment systems like Kindle. We cover absolutely everything that is popular. Next, the system has been designed to be scalable. Okay, so it's designed to accommodate even the largest enterprises and their multiple teams. You can have different users with different permission levels and project permissions that dictate what a user can do when they have access to. You can allocate the devices just to a team or share them amongst all of your testing staff. And using the platform amongst your teams, regardless of where your employees are located, enables better collaboration and process. Fourthly, moving up to the top of the slide, the capabilities. The platform functionality includes manual testing, it includes automated testing, it includes monitoring, and it's crucial that with the device diversity out there, you can speed your testing up using automated techniques. And so we have an absolutely first-class automation mechanism which addresses application diversity with object-level scripting techniques for mobile web, for native apps, hybrid apps, and this means faster scripting, faster testing, and much less script maintenance. And finally, the UI. We talked about organizational diversity, and one of the complications of implementing a test tool is the different skill sets that exist in the enterprise, and therefore the cost of training. Our mobile test solution provides its own user interface as well as integration with other leading test tools, so that your employees who are already knowledgeable in popular tools like HP or IBM can begin scripting on real devices immediately. But if they're beginners, we have an easy-to-use point-and-click script recorder so that new testers can quickly script and start launching tests by simply interacting with the device. And if you've got some really sophisticated programmers there, they can also write test scripts in Java. So before we leave this slide, I just want to mention that we also understand that an enterprise testing platform cannot be an island. It has to work within your existing processes. So our mobile testing platform works with leading ALM tools like HP and IBM. It also provides command line tools so you can kick off tests from an external tool or integrate with a build system to support continuous testing. So what does that mean in practice to the tester? It means that you can test your mobile app on just about any device from wherever you are and document it and share the results with your team. This issue of diversity of devices and operating systems is huge for testers. And so removing this complexity by giving them a great range of devices, an easy platform to use, is probably the biggest benefit we can give them. Effective mobile testing requires access to devices. We give you access to hundreds from our device library. We give you access to private dedicated devices. We manage hundreds of these for our customers. Or you can even use your own existing test device industry. So if you've already got devices, you can actually plug them into your computer and run manual tests with those devices. If you want to do automated testing, you can even plug in your Android and run automated testing with an Android device from your desk. And you'll be able to do that with Apple devices within the next few weeks. Our recommendation is that you have a pool of private devices for heavy automated testing, or if you have remote teams. And the device library itself, the online device library of shared devices, that's great for compatibility testing, new feature testing, or testing untrusted devices and stuff like that, much more rudimentary stuff. Most of the companies we talk to agree that they need a combination of all three for the requirements. Now that concludes my intro. I'd like to pass you to my colleague Jose Talavera, and I might have to ask Alison to pass over to him. How do we do that, Alison?
Hello, can you hear me, Phil?
Yeah. You got the screen?
Yeah, I just need to maybe to stop sharing.
I need to do something? Yeah, okay, great, there we go.
I did that.
There we go.
It's like we rehearsed it, isn't it?
Please let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see it.
Yep.
Okay,
Perfect.
fantastic. Good. Thanks, Phil, for the introduction to Keynote Mobile Testing. That was great. Good intro. And I'm actually pleased that you actually went through different ways to interact with the devices and the different functionalities of our manual testing, like that we could change the orientation of the device, the battery, the way we interact with it. There is actually just one that I would like to mention, is also the location services, or using the GPS feature of the phones. That's actually something also interesting to some of my customers, where they want to use some sort of a branch locator or something like that, and they want to see what is the bank branch closer to that specific device, and you can use the GPS services or location services of those devices to test that capability of your app that will locate the closest branch, and that's actually a good benefit. Okay, so for my demo today, I would like to split it into two. First is how we do manual testing. Second one is the automation. If we have time, and as Phil mentioned, I would like also to show you how we do an integration, or how we integrate with an open source solution. Let's see if we have time. So the reason why I have split it this way is because whatever type of testing you are currently doing, you do either manual or automated, and that's actually why our solution is kind of created this way, right? You can see on the left hand side a couple of modules. Center is for manual testing, and then there is another big module for automation. Those are the two modules that we are going to focus on today. I'm not planning to cover the test case manager, which is a test management solution. It could be HP ALM or IBM Rational. So we do that as well for both manual and automated testing, but I'm not, just for the sake of time, I'm not going to cover that today. Okay, so number of devices. Phil already mentioned that we have the broadest number of devices in the market. Those are real devices in strategic data centers. Those devices that you can see here, 5 of them, that's just for demo purposes. Okay, so obviously we have many more than this, and we do have smartphones, tablets, but also feature phones. Okay, so if you still are developing some apps for old phones, we also have very old phones supported. And just want to show you briefly that we also support iOS 8. We have iPhone 6. Okay, so we have also the latest phones. At the moment, I have acquired 3 of them. So I have an iPhone 4S, I have a Galaxy 3, and I have also a tablet, an Nexus 7. Okay, so you can see that we can actually play with 3 different devices or more at the same time. Okay, so I'm gonna use this Samsung Galaxy S3, and I'm gonna quickly show you how we interact as a manual tester with those real devices in the cloud. Keep in mind that we don't instrument whatsoever those devices. So there is no software from Keynote installed on those devices. There is, and that's why we are unique, is we do a hardware integration. Okay, this hardware integration is pulling out some of the components of the device, like battery, accelerometer, and other components, and we build a server that we put in a rack. Okay, so the way we manipulate those devices is exactly the same way you probably used your phones, right? So we use the mouse as if it was your finger for tapping. So all the phones, they are connected to internet. Okay, it could be either Wi-Fi, or also we use real mobile networks, 2, 3, 4G. Okay, and the way we can actually type anything on the device is by using the on-screen keyboard. Okay, I can just look up something here, Google, um, and we can browse as any other user. Okay. Now, imagine that you need to type a very long text and you don't want to do that on the screen keyboard. Okay, you can, by the way, also use this text entry. Okay, you can use different keyboard layouts, and again, by typing on your physical keyboard and clicking send, you can send the same text there. And by the way, by just clicking here or typing here and using your physical keyboard, you will get also the text inserted in the field. Okay, so having said that, you can do everything. Okay, multi-touch. Okay, you can access whatever article in this newspaper. You can actually zoom in, zoom out. As Phil mentioned, we can disconnect the battery. I'm not going to do that today because it will take a while to reboot the device. But obviously, by just using the buttons of the device, okay, we can also power on this Samsung. Okay, we can change the orientation. We can also use video and audio of the device. Okay, in case you want to do some sort of testing. All right, good. So we went through how we work with browsers on our devices, how we rotate the device, what is the full hardware integration. Okay, that's good. One use case actually that I wanted to mention about the battery disconnect, which is quite interesting, is for that QA team that actually needs to test an interruption testing. Not sure if the testers are doing that at the moment, but if any of you is doing this, it's quite important, because imagine that you are developing a bank application for mobile phones, and during the bank transfer, you need to test what happened with your transfer while whenever the device is run out of battery. Okay, so dies completely, and then you reboot the device, and what happens with that app and what with that bank transfer. Okay, so that's a common thing of our customers in the financial sector, and it's also something that we should test if you are not doing it. All right, good. Collaboration, that's another key benefit of this solution. Okay, by just installing the Studio, this version is 7.0, which is the latest one, you can access those devices wherever you are, as long as you have internet connection. By the way, the speed of the connection, you can see it here. So at the moment, we can see that the speed is quite low, and that's actually the connection between my local computer or laptop with those devices in the cloud. Okay, so you can, if it's a bit slow sometimes, you can actually see the reason why here. Okay, on those dots. Okay, so going back to collaboration, if you right click here on the screen and you go to export frame, current frame, you can take a screenshot or save a JPEG file that you can then send to your developers. So whenever you detect a defect, you do that, and then you can communicate and collaborate with your developers wherever they are, of course. Another common question from our customers is, how do they install the different apps? Okay, That's also a very key point. Is obviously the first thing that comes to our minds is to use the App Store, right? It could be Google Play, Apple Store, whatever. You just type the app and you download it, as long as it's free, right? You download it and then you start testing it. Imagine that this app is not public for whatever reason. Maybe it's not actually it's not released, so maybe it's in a development phase. So you still can upload these apps into our devices. The way to do it is either to go through the UI of our solution of our studio. You can click Add App, and then we can see here box where you add the different APK or IPA files, and you just browse on your file system, import the APK file, and by just clicking data cable, you will actually deploy the APK file and install that app into our phones. So it's pretty easy, pretty quick. You don't need to go through any other process. You can do that yourself. Okay, so the camera usage, Phil already mentioned that we can do that, and the different deployment options that we have, is also key. So we do have public devices and also private devices, depending on your security levels or your availability requirements. So if there are no questions right now, I'm gonna quickly move into scripting. Okay, I want to show you the second part of my demo, which is how we do automation. Okay, so if you have any questions about how we manipulate those devices or any functionality of devices that you are doing in a daily basis for testing your apps, please feel free to ask that in the question section of our box or our Adobe Connect. And I'm gonna show you actually how we build a script and how we run it. Okay, so I have several scripts here. Let me start with this one, and I will show you how I built it. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the main page of this iPhone, or actually I'm gonna change to the same device, might be that we had before, so there is some consistency. And then I will show you that we can also run that script into different operating systems. Okay, so I'm gonna run this script. It's pretty simple. Several steps here. Uh, first two steps is as any initial condition, you need to go home and close any apps that might be actually open. And from there, we start our test case. Okay, so we launch the KBB, which is an app for second-hand cars. We press, we want to see the new cars only. Okay, and we select BMW. We get all the different models from BMW, and we are going to select this 3 Series and the cars from last year. That's the whole point of this script, is just to show the list of available second-hand or new cars, sorry, in this app, KBB app. Okay, so we have finished the whole execution, the whole flow, and we get to the success state. Okay, so we get if we want to see all the results and the evidence of the execution, we just click view results, and here we can see what happened during the execution. Okay, we can expand everything. We can really go down to every single step, what happened. You can see evidence or screenshots or even videos of what happened while the execution took place. And then you can also see more details in terms of how long it took, what device it is, things like that. Okay, and as I mentioned before, this is not just for a tool for doing testing yourself. Okay, as a tester, is a test tool for collaboration as well. So if you need to share the results, you can upload the results into a portal where everyone from your team and maybe other teams like developers, they could have access. Before going there, I'm going to show you the results here so we can see all the underlying objects on this on this app. We can see all the different cars that were available on that list. Okay, we can see what we were looking for, and we have even an image of where we were during the execution. Okay, so if we click upload results, let me show you what we get. So here we get into a portal, okay, and it's exactly the same information, okay, that we could see, but it's a bit more oriented to collaboration. Okay, so you can see that the images, the screenshots, they are bigger, so you can exactly see what happened with the design of the app. And you can, of course, export all the information. You can archive the results. You can export into PDF format. You can also email those results. Okay, and the way to navigate through the result is exactly the same. Okay, so having said that, let me go back. I can also, by the way, the same script could be actually executed on an iPhone. Okay, so in an iOS device. I can run that now. It's going to take a while as well. So I'm going to jump and explain briefly how we build those scripts. Okay, and I'm going to do that with a different script, a different project. That's the a script that is using the IMDb app. Okay, and let me open that action. Okay, so think of an action like a function, a Java function. Okay, let me click here. And in the IMDb app, what we are doing here is just to look for a specific movie. Okay, so in this case, we are going to the object level. Okay, so during the scripting, we are not recognizing images or text. What we are going is to a lower level and inspecting the objects. It could be a native object or also a web element. Okay, and well, here we can see that we are inspecting this text view object. Okay. If we go to the next one, we are actually tapping on the search object, and then we enter some text, which is actually the movie title. Okay, so for more information, if you are playing with objects on a daily basis, you can see here what is the structure of the different objects that we have in this native app. Okay, good. Obviously, at the end of this action, we need to verify that we got to the right stage, right? So we got the list of movies with actually the text that we enter here is Gravity. Okay, we get there. Okay, so let me just run this this test, that test case. Okay, let's run it. I can go back, by the way, to the execution on the iPhone with the same KBB script. We can see that we passed that execution as well, and we can see the results again here. Okay, so exactly the same. The only thing is that you will probably notice that the user interface of the KBB app in an iPhone is quite different to the one on an Android. Okay, so here you see what is that was a validation. So the actual image, the expected image, and you can compare as well what did change. Okay, so let me go and see what's going on with our IMDb script. We are looking for Gravity movie, and we get the list. And now we should verify that we got Gravity on the list, and we got a successful execution. That's great. So here again, we can see the results. I'm not gonna upload the results again. I'm just want to show you the difference with the image recognition. This time, remember that with IMDb we are doing an execution at a lower level, so object level. We can see here all the objects that we got on the screen. So extracted objects, here we can see all the different native objects, and we are actually looking for this labeled object called Gravity. It's actually here, as you can see. Those are the list of extracted objects. And by the way, we do also have a screenshot just in case you want to see the look and feel of the app. Okay, so you can actually see that we have executed both image-based scripting and object level scripting on different apps, okay, and that we could also execute the same script on different operating system, both Android and iOS in this case. All right, so that's actually one of the key things that I wanted to show to you today about automation. I want also to jump into the different integrations that we have. Okay, we do have integrations with HP solutions like HP ALM and UFT, also known as QDP. We do integrate with IBM Rational tools for automation. We also automate with Worksoft and Jenkins in case you are in a continuous integration environment. We do integrate with Jenkins. And last but not least is actually the integration with Selenium. We do have an integration with that open source solution that is very commonly used in the tester environments for automation. And the way it works is actually we import those Selenium scripts, and by installing on our devices the WebDriver from Selenium, we can run them. Okay, we can run the Selenium scripts. Okay, so let me show you. Here we have a Selenium project. Selenium web search, that's the one. Okay, so it's very quick, it's very small, just a couple of steps. Let me run it. It's very easy, and I will, in the meantime, I will show you what it looks like. Okay, so we can see the first thing, we launched the Selendroid, the WebDriver, and then we execute a very simple transaction where we on that browser we are actually doing a search. Okay, very basic script that we can actually explore here by just going to that action. That Java action, you can see exactly what it's doing. It's actually creating this WebDriver or this driver object, and then we just are doing this search by by using that string over here. Okay, so that's how easy it is to work with the integration with Selenium. So you don't need to use Selenium independently. You can combine both. If you are using Selenium, just import all your scripting into RStudio, and you can run Selenium scripts from Studio. One last thing before we move into the Q&A is the scheduling. That's also a core thing of our solution, because obviously we want, for automation, building a script is very important, but we would like to actually run them in an unattended manner, right? We don't want to be there clicking run, right? So for that, we can schedule the execution. And let me show you simple execution. Double click on that schedule, and then you just need to select the cycle. The cycle, for your information, is just a bunch of test cases. Okay, so we select the cycle. I have created a couple of them. We select the device that we want to run it, and then we just say, okay, when we want to run that test case. So either once, recurrently, depending if you want to run that every Monday morning, and you can add some description, and most important is to add the different email addresses where you want to get all the results. Okay, those scripts they will run sequentially on those devices. Keep in mind that just one script can run at a time on our real devices. With that, I am done. I think if there is any other question, I can just quickly show here while I'm sharing.
So
Lisa,
Jose, we
back to
do
you.
have a question.
Right.
When loading an application for manual testing, how is testing completed when using a shared device?
The test
How's it
completed on a
removed?
manual. Sorry?
How's the app removed when they finished using it?
Okay. So yeah, that's let me actually show you. So the app can be removed obviously manually, so you can uninstall any apps yourself while you are testing. Now, if we are in a public environment and you reserve the slot for doing testing, and then you install your app, what happens if you don't remove the app? Well, there is a cleanup script that is running after your reservation that is going to delete anything that you have modified on those devices. So any app that you install, any file that you download, any configuration that you have changed will be also reset. So I hope that answers your questions.
Yeah, if I might add that obviously, if I think we'd recommend that you consider carefully the sensitivity of the information of your application. If you, for example, if you are launching the world's next Candy Crush saga, you may not want to leave that app on a shared device. If you are testing a banking application, which may contain sensitive data, you do not want to leave that app on a shared device. You might want to clean the device yourself.
Correct. Any other question?
Great. It doesn't look like we have any more questions right now. But if you guys would like to have access to this file, I just put it into the screen view. Hopefully you all can see it, and you should be able to click on the file name and download the PDF of this presentation.
All right.
So I'll give everyone one moment to access that if they want to. Great. Well, thank you all so much for joining today. Phil and Jose, thank you so much for the great presentation.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much, Alison. I hope it's been useful for all of our participants.
Thanks for your time.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.